Hi friends, welcome to yet another session of KU Padasala on film studies. Today we'll be having a session on spectatorship and audience studies. In this session, we will delve into the evolution of film studies, transitioning from the concept of the spectator to a broader discussion on audience. Our first point of discussion revolves around why the concept of spectator is crucial in film studies. Understanding the role of individual viewer in relation to the film itself lays the foundation for a comprehensive analysis. Film studies has undergone a significant transformation, moving from a focus solely on the spectator to a more inclusive discussion about the audience. This transition marks a pivotal role in the history of film studies. Now let's demystify the concept of the imaginary spectator. This intriguing notion adds a layer to our understanding, prompting us to consider the constructed perceptions of the viewer within the cinematic experience. Film studies doesn't exist in isolation. We need to explore how the discipline has been influenced by other fields, enriching the analysis of the relationship between the audience and the film. This interdisciplinary approach enhances our comprehension of the cinematic experience. There are multiple lenses through which we can examine the audience in film studies. Whether it is individual spectator, the broader cultural experience, or the intersection with the film industry, each perspective contributes to our holistic understanding. The acknowledgement of the audience importance in film studies is relatively recent. Initially overlooked, the spectator gained prominence as theories of spectatorship and audience studies developed. This shift reflects the evolving nature of the discipline. The definite psychoanalytical influence also contributed to the rise of these studies. Tracing the history, we see that psychoanalysis plays a pivotal role in shaping early theories. The idea of a single spectator constructed by the film itself dominated discussions. More recently, cultural and media studies, including reception studies, have influenced film studies. These approaches recognize the existence of diverse audiences, emphasizing the need for varied interpretations. This shift in influences has led to changes in the terminologies used in discussing the audience. The terms spectator and audience now imply different approaches and interpretations within film studies. Our explorations will take us through the evolution of film studies, examining early approaches and pivotal role of audience engagement. Before the advent of audience studies, the early approaches to film often sidelined the audience, emphasizing authorship particularly through author theory. Meaning was considered fixed and universal, created solely by the director. In author theory, meaning was attributed to the film by the director, remaining consistent regardless of the audience. The film's interpretation was presumed to be sane, whether screened in isolation or to a global audience over several decades. Critics argued that author theory overlooked a fundamental aspect of cinema, the audience. Cinema, being a social experience, necessitated consideration of a viewer's role. Author theory, with its focus on the solitary creator, was seen as limited. To address the limitations of author theory, two distinct approaches emerged. Genre theory recognized the significance of the audience by studying popular films enjoyed by the masses. It emphasized that the audience members interpret genre films in the context of their collective viewing experiences. Genre theory contributed to audience studies by acknowledging that audience prefer playing a role in shaping the types of films produced. This approach considered how audiences understand genre films in relation to the broader cinematic landscape. In contrast, screen theory, particularly spectatorship theory, gained prominence in university film departments. Heavily influenced by psychoanalysis, this approach aimed to explore how meaning is created in both filmmaking and film viewing. Spectatorship theory delved into the psychological aspects of film experience, introducing concepts such as the unconscious mind and desire. By relying on a psychoanalytical framework, it sought to unravel the mysteries of why audiences are drawn to the cinematic experience. Film studies embraced psychoanalysis in the 1970s, a surprising yet fitting marriage considering the simultaneous development of cinema and Freud's groundbreaking works. This union aimed to move beyond structuralism's limitations and acknowledge the active role of the spectator in meaning construction. The relevance of psychoanalysis to film studies stems from the analogy between films and dreams. Drawing from Freud's emphasis on the unconscious mind and desire, film theory incorporated these concepts, suggesting that films, like dreams, hold a mirror to our desires. Films, existing in the space between reality and imagination, captivate audiences by collapsing the boundaries between the real and the unreal. John Ellis, influenced by psychoanalysis, described the spectator's dynamic engagement constantly oscillating between the real and the imaginary. The concept of Zusha, a term inspired by Lacanian psychoanalysis, developed by Stephen Heath and Daniel Dyan, it explains how the spectator interprets a film. Zusha posits that audience unconsciously stitches together shots, creating a continuous narrative flow. Suture theory introduces contradictory impulses, the desire to see the next shot and desire for resolution. The continuous creation of meaning between shots keeps the spectator in a state of anticipation and engagement, revealing the ideological power of film. Despite its influence, psychoanalytical film theory has faced critiques. Some argue against the analogy between dreams and films, questioning the limits of applying psychoanalysis to cinema. Critics suggest that this approach oversimplifies the relationship, neglecting diverse filters such as personal experiences, viewing conditions, and cultural influences. Affect theory emerged as a response to broaden the understanding of film spectatorship. It explores the visceral and physiological responses to film, particularly in relation to violence. Affect theory challenges the dominance of psychoanalysis by emphasizing that film's effects go beyond desire and the unconscious. Recognizing the diverse pleasures film offers, scholars within culture studies advocate for a broader understanding. Stuart Hall's work highlights that film's meanings are not fixed. Instead, audiences brings their background and experiences, contributing to multiple interpretations. The evolution of spectatorship theory signals a shift from a primarily aesthetic focus. The evolution of spectatorship theory signals a shift from a primarily aesthetic focus to an acknowledgement of external influences on film interpretation. The recognition of the spectator as an active participant opens new avenues for understanding the complex relationship between film and audience. Now let's try to understand the mysteries behind why certain actors become stars and what this reveals about our society's values. We are now going to discuss about the emergence of star studies. While discussions on stars in terms of celebrity magazines existed, academic star studies emerged in the mid-1970s. The goal? To delve into why certain actors attain stardom, exploring the intricate relationship between stars and their audience. Richard Dyer, a pivotal figure in star studies, paved the way with his influential work in the book Stars. Dyer's approach transcends the conventional focus on innate qualities like beauty and talent. Instead, he examines stars in relation to societal issues such as class, race, gender, caste, and sexual orientation. Dyer's approach allows us to deconstruct the meanings behind stars, revealing connotations related to attractiveness, masculinity, femininity, race, caste, and national identity. An ideological analysis of stars unveils societal values and rejects prevailing norms. John Ellis, influenced by psychoanalysis, sees stars as an intertextual construction. The audience's desire for a star, according to Ellis, is fulfilled by witnessing their performance on film. Psychoanalytical theories of desire and subjectivity dominate, suggesting a uniform response from the audience. A groundbreaking shift in perspective came through reception studies, emphasizing actual audience responses. Jackie Stacy, in her influential work Stargazing in 1993, combines psychoanalytical theories with ethnographical research, offering a more complete understanding of the spectator's position. Stacy's approach involved soliciting responses from women about their cinema-going habits in the 1940s and 1950s. The questionnaire-based research revealed audience members' identification processes, including devotion, adoration, worship, aspiration, and inspiration. Stargazing countered influential theories like the male gaze, demonstrating that the female spectators actively identified with characters on screen. The study revealed that female spectators continued the cinematic experiences outside of the theater, influencing their dressing and behavior. Stacy's approach faced criticism for relying on self-selecting questionnaires, potentially skewing responses. Additionally, focusing solely on female spectatorship raised questions about gendered assumptions in spectatorship. The importance of context in understanding audience responses is highlighted in the approach of cultural geographies. Ethnographic research examines cinema culture in specific times and places, providing a nuanced understanding of audience experiences. We now delve into the fascinating realm of reception studies, a crucial aspect of contemporary audience studies. This paradigm shift has taken us from perceiving the film as a sole creator of meaning to understanding that audiences with their unique contextual baggage play a unique role in the interpretation of films. Influencing this transformative shift is Janet Steiger's groundbreaking study, Perverse Spectators, in 2003. Steiger challenges the theoretical expectations from spectatorship studies, labeling spectators up as perverse for not conforming to established norms. She argues that contextual factors rather than textual material or reader psychologies are paramount in understanding the reading process. According to Steiger, successful audience research in film studies requires acknowledging specific historic and social contexts. Spectators are not empty vessels when watching a film, and films lack immanent or inherent meaning. The dynamic nature of interpretation arises from changing social, political, and economic conditions as well as viewers' constructed self-images. Steiger employs a method that blends historical research with ethnography to illuminate the specific reception of a film at a given time. Analyzing Blonde Venus 1932, starring Marlene Dietrich, she examines film journalism, private diary entries, and audience reminiscences to capture the multifaceted reactions to a film. While reception studies shift the focus away from textual-led audience studies, the film itself remains central to Steiger's work. It does not allow for endless interpretations, but suggests a range of possible meanings based on the audience's wider context. Identifying these interpretations require a textual method, a way of reading the film. Steiger combines reception studies with post-structural approaches and neo-formalist analysis, ensuring a balanced exploration that incorporates both the film and its reception. Critics argue that discussions on the audience in film studies have drifted too far from the film itself. However, scholars like Steiger, along with Annette Cohn and Henry Jenkins, counter this claim by integrating audience perspectives with robust film analysis. The evolution of audience theory in film studies reflects a shift from conceptualizing meaning within the film to recognizing the audience's role in meaning creation. Psychoanalytical theory and culture studies have played a pivotal role in constructing an inclusive overview of how films affect audiences and vice versa. In summary, film studies has transitioned from an internalized view of meaning creation within the text to acknowledging the collaborative interaction between audiences and films. Psychoanalysis and culture studies have influenced this evolution, leading to diverse approaches like reception studies and ethnographic research. As we wrap our exploration of reception studies and the perverse spectator, remember that the magic of film lies not only in its creation, but in the myriad ways audiences perceive and interpret it. Thank you.